Hi, everyone. This is Michele Graglia.
This is Marianne Hogan.
Hi, I'm Adrian McDonald.
I'm Katie Asmit.
Hi, this is Anthony Gasals.
Hi, my name is Meg Morgan.
Hey, it's Jordan Trove.
This is John Ray.
This is Ryan Van Duzer, and you are listening to the Gotta Run Racing podcast.
Hey there.
Hey, everyone. We're back with another Gotta Run podcast.
What's what?
Oh, what's what? What's what is happening is I look outside and the frost is coming.
Yeah, the long, dark days of Canadian winters are here. And the bad news is neither one of us have picked a race for next year, so...
Well, I'm waiting on a couple of lotteries to determine my fate.
But we need to sign up for something to stay motivated, keep us on track.
Is that what you need? You need something to sign up for?
Always. Always.
I think I could just maintain what I got without having a race, but it is hard.
Well, that's nice for you, but...
It is hard, I understand.
Yes, it's very hard.
I tried to stay off sugar for the month of November, and it lasted...
12 hours?
No, I think more like 6 minutes.
As soon as I came home from Mexico.
With all this Mexican chocolate.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
What can you do? Hey, if you need to give your family and friends ideas of what you want for Christmas, why don't you check out our merch? Gotta Run Podcast and Gotta Run Racing merch is available on our website, GottaRunRacing.com. You could get one of our podcast mugs that you see us drinking from every episode. You could get a shirt. You could get a buff. There's all sorts of cool stuff on there. And then we're also going to have our We Run the North virtual national park series back again. So that would be a fun thing to have.
Over the winter, sure.
Yeah. Keep you on track.
And when you say watch, meaning if you go to our YouTube channel,
yeah.
Subscribe there and you can see us lifting the cup once in a while.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, you could definitely see a lot of stuff there to surprise.
So let us know if you want anything. Hit us up and we'll hook you up.
All right. And who is on the podcast today?
Today we have Andrea Marcato, 42 years old, originally from Italy, now living in Switzerland. Andrea has won the Self-Transcendence race for the past 5 years in a row. And what is Self-Transcendence, you ask? It is a 3,100-mile race. That's just under 5,000 kilometers. And it is the world's longest certified foot race. To put that in perspective, that's running from Vancouver to New York and then running the New York Marathon twice. It's a race created by Sri Chinmoy in 1996. And who is Sri Chinmoy, you ask? He was an Indian spiritual leader and meditation teacher and part fitness enthusiast. He felt that running ridiculous distances was the perfect recipe for enlightenment. He had over 7,000 students in 60 countries. He started the race in 96, and here are the stats. The 52-day race takes place every summer in Queens, New York, between August 30th and October 20th. The course is 3,100 miles long. Runners run over 5,600 laps of one city block, a distance of just under 1 kilometer.
Wow.
There's a really good video on YouTube about this too. You're going to link that in the notes?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. The runners have 52 days to complete the distance, running from 6 a.m. to midnight, an average of 96K a day. They rest for 6 hours and they start all over again in the morning until they reach the distance. And some, of course, those who are addicted to their Garmin will run the 11K extra in order to say they achieve 5,000K. Of course we would do that.
Of course we would do that too.
Because we want 5,000K.
Right. You could just walk the last 11K because you're done, but then just walk.
Of course. And of course you can run it faster, which is what our guest has done for the past 5 years when he averaged 115K per day, finishing on average in 43 days. In fact, he's been so consistent with that. He's either finished in 42 or 43 days for the last 5 years.
Winning each year.
Right. In order to prepare for this race, Andrea has run in smaller events such as 6 or 10-day races throughout the year. And in fact, he's podiumed most of them as well.
That's incredible. So let's think about this for a second. He's going around a city block for 43 days.
Mm-hmm.
So during the time of August 30th to October 20th. So what other 100-milers took place during that time while he's just running around in circles.
What do you got?
Well, UTMB took place.
Obviously, yeah.
What else happened?
Run, Rabbit, Run.
Right. Our own Divide 200 happened.
Moab 240.
Spartathlon.
Tour de Géant.
Wow. All these races took place and he was just still running around the block.
That's crazy. And as you guys know, backyard ultras are gaining in popularity, which in average, they last about 6 days, notwithstanding the championships. But in that format, you only have whatever time is left in your hour to start the next loop. So there's very little rest happening. In the Self-Transcendence race, you can rest for 6 hours before you start again, as long as you're getting your average of 96K a day.
Yeah, I guess you could also rest. You don't have to go all the way to midnight. You could stop at 9, 10 o'clock and rest longer.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him that, actually, how he strategized. Because what if you're tired at 2 p.m?
Yeah, rest for a couple of hours and then continue on. So
Right.
it's a different way of looking at it. But it'd be interesting to see if these backyard ultra runners, like our Canadians, Ihor Veras or Amanda Nelson, would they try a race like this? Or would Andrea would want to compete in the backyard ultra?
It's interesting because it looks like Andrea only does these types of races. So he doesn't seem interested in the typical ultra distance. So we're going to ask him why that is.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe he has done an old backyard or something like that. We don't know.
No, but crossover. Interesting. We'll
That's-
find out.
Well, let's ask him. And without further ado, here is Andrea coming up.
Welcome to the podcast, Andrea, and congratulations on your recent win at the Transcendence race last month. But before we get into that, we'd love to know how your running journey began. So can you take us back to the beginning?
Yes, of course. Hello, Norm. Hello, Jody. I just tell you briefly, I started to run 20 years ago, and I did my first race was a marathon. So no intermediate step, no 10K, no half marathon. It was just straight to the marathon. And then my second race was a 12-hour race.
Wow.
So I immediately had this approach to the super long, let's say endurance world or the long distance running. So I immediately fell in love with it. And from that point, from 20 years ago, I progressively increased the distance. So for many years, I was doing 24-hour races.
Mhm.
I was racing for the national Italian team in 2015. And from that, later on in 2018, I started to do the so-called multi-days event. So races which develop in more than one day. So I did a 6-day race and 10-day race in New York. That was my first approach. And I felt really comfortable and I was amazed by this long journey. And it is a long life passion for the ultra distance events. And I never did the kind of trail running. I always stick to the loop races, and I like the asphalt somehow. So
Wow.
this is my little story. Yeah.
We've spoken to a few people who jumped right in like you, including this guy. And I think I think it takes a special kind of person to do that. So it's interesting to know how your brain works.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've always had the mind of an ultra runner.
Yeah, in a way, I can say yes. I was always attracted by the long distance. I did, to be sincere, I never had the speed, So you do what is more convenient for your mindset, for your body, and somehow I was much prone to the endurance world since the very beginning. So I went this way immediately.
Right.
And when was your first 6 multi-day race? When was that?
It was in 2018.
Mhm.
So not so many years ago, like 6 years ago. So the multi-days event is quite recent, let's say, in my life. And it was also, in a way, unexpected because I did a very big jump, let's say, from the 24-hour race. I didn't do a 6-day race. My first race was a 10-day race. So, yeah. So, and later on, I went back to the 6-day race. But immediately I jumped from 24-hour to 10-day race, because that was what was available. So it was in New York, in Flushing Meadows Park. And I mean, I had some friends who were doing this kind of events, and They just told me, okay, you are good in endurance. Why don't you try this? And then I tried, and I did immediately. From the very first edition, I did very well. I had more than 1,000 kilometer, more than 622 mile. On the very first edition, it's pretty much rare, you know. Normally, people build it up slowly somehow. They have like 400 miles or 500 miles, and then later on they become good. In my case, I had a very good start from the very beginning. I felt comfortable somehow, so I guess I was ready because for many years I was racing in the 24-hour races, and I did kind of 20 or 25 of them. So it's a very good background to start in the endurance world.
Is that when during the 24-hour races, is that when you realized that you had the mental capacity to be able to withstand this type of event?
Yes, absolutely. Because in a way you suffer a lot, and already to run for the full day is not for everybody, I have to say. And also, again, I also realized that I couldn't perform super well in a 24-hour race. I also felt this was not my distance. But I'm not like fast like Sorokin or people like this. But in a way, I said, well, okay, what's next? And then I had a look, and then I knew there were 48-hour race and 6-day race became very popular, especially now in Hungary. There is even the World Championship, the 6-day race World Championship. And this is it. So I gave it a try to the multi-days event, and I felt comfortable there for the first time. Let's say I found my dimension in a multi-days race because it fits to my own capacities and my own mental and physical setup. Let's say I can recover. My plus is that I can recover pretty quickly somehow compared to other athlete in the multi-days events. I can recover quickly, so I can keep a steady pace along the race, which is quite unusual. It's not so common.
Wow.
When did you first hear about the Self-Transcendent race?
Okay, I heard it from some the Switchimoy community, and so they organize many events, long distance races, especially in Flushing Meadows in New York, and it's all about like 6-day race and 10-day race now. In the past, there were also like 700-mile race, 1,000-mile race, and 1,300-mile race. So it was very popular, like in the 80s, in the 90s, and it was the only, let's say, running team which was organized such kind of event, like very, very long distance. And of course, Yannis Kouros made it extremely popular because he did a world record in several distances, from the 24-hour race to the 6-day race, the 1,000-mile, and so on. So he was absolutely the hero of the ultra endurance events in several distances. And then there was a gap. Somehow he stopped for a while. Now he's I guess he's over 60 somehow, but still very, very strong. And recently, in the past few years, 5 or 6 years, again, there was coming back like a second wind from the running community. So everybody discovered again this multi-days world, and it became very popular. So in Hungary, in Lake Balatov, there is the World Championship, and most of the athletes start there. Even recently, probably you already know, but recently they did a world record in the 6-day race in Hungary.
Yep.
Which is kind of amazing. It's like 650 miles, something like this. So it's more than 100 miles a day as an average. It's really an amazing feat. And also the backyard ultra are becoming very popular. In a way, that's a different setup from what I'm doing, but the running community is evolving more and more into the ultra distance events.
Absolutely. By the way, we did do an extended intro to our chat with you today to explain to our listeners what the Self-Transcendence is all about, and Sri Shamoy and etc. So don't want you to think that we're not educating. It's definitely in the intro so that they understand what the race is all about.
Great.
But we are curious. This is a quite the dedication to be able to do an event like this. How is your lifestyle set up that you can take off this much time from your daily life to come to New York and do this type of thing?
Yeah. First of all, I have a regular job. I work. I'm from Italy, but I work in Switzerland, in Zurich. And I'm lucky somehow. I have a very good, I found a very good company, and they are my own sponsor. So they sponsor my running event.
Nice.
And of course, yeah, all my colleagues, they support me. They know what I am doing. They know about my passion, and they try to cover my shift when I am away. So I get enough holiday and enough time to do the race. I'm just lucky. I found a very good job place. And we produce vegan food. Me, myself, I am vegetarian. I'm not a vegan.
Okay.
The company is called Soyana, like from soy. Like we produce soya-based alternative meat product. So yeah, I eat very well along the year. I eat basically most of the time organic food, high quality food. So I guess I have a very good nutrition background, and yeah, I'm really happy with my company. As I said, they allow me to do such things, and yeah, and then they of course they advertise on the website that I'm doing this. So it's good also for the company in a way.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation.
Right.
I think your ability to recover quickly has something to do with that, don't you?
Absolutely. I believe that, let's say, organic food is a high octane fuel, I would say. So it really helps to recover better. And also we have some product like, let's say, from curcuma or other anti-inflammatory natural food, which helps a lot the recovery. So I eat regularly, let's say, curcuma or ginger or this kind of things. That they help a lot to boost the immune system and to recover faster.
Nice. Okay, going into this year's event, after winning it for 4 times in a row, they ranked you third. Why would they rank you third?
Okay, no, they ranked me third because it's true. I won it 4 times, and this year was the 5th consecutive time. They ranked me third because this was the 28th edition of the race, and there is the Mr. Alto from Finland. He held the world record of this event, which is 40 days and 9 hours. And then there was also another gentleman from Germany, Mr. Schwer, Madhupran Schwer, which formerly did the world record, and then he passed like in second rank. And I did my PB in this event, in the 3100 mile race. I did my PB in 2021, and for just 40 seconds, if I'm not wrong, I got the third best performance all over since 28 years. So therefore, they ranked me like as a third, let's say, which is true. And I got the third place, like the third best performance, let's say, in the world by 40 seconds, which is also very unusual in such a long distance. It's really something very unusual.
That must have motivated you when they said, "What? You're ranking me third? I'll show you."
Yeah. Yeah, I know. In a way, how can I say? The race is so long that so many factors can influence performance. That first of all, it's difficult to improve, and second, also the weather condition play a very important role because this year I was quite lucky because it was raining very little. But I can imagine if one edition, I was preparing very well, and then I got like 2 weeks raining and so on. So the whole thing slowed down, and if you lose even one day, it's a lot. It's just it is as it is. Can you imagine that one day in a race, a full day in the race, it's like 18 hours being on the course. It's like 1 kilometer in the marathon. So it's like 0.6 mile, so it's really like a huge distance and everything can affect the performance. But anyhow, I am the first man who won it 5 consecutive times. So this is also a record per se, let's say, because before the Finnish boy, he won it 4 times in a row, and then he skipped a year or something happened, So in a way, I am the only one who won 5 consecutive times.
Amazing.
I'm really satisfied. So.
Well, hopefully next year they'll rank you number 1.
No, it cannot be that they rank me number 1 because I didn't do the world record. So in a way, but it's okay somehow. I mean, I'm super happy, and I think year by year, and now I just think about how to recover, and I'm still running, not so much, but till the end of the year, I really take it easy.
So I love what you said there, because I think if you let it sink in, 1 day of this race is equal to 1 kilometer of a marathon.
Right. And I'd imagine taking that off your time.
Yeah. So that being said, I think what we'd like to do is break it down into 10-day increments. So can you talk about the start and the first 10 days of the race, if there was any sort of concerns or weather issues or anything interesting happen?
Well, on day number 1, it was raining a little bit, but nothing serious. And this was by far probably the best start of all the 28th edition. That was the most powerful start because we both, me and Alto, we set up the most mile performance in a day. So the first day, on day 1, he did 96 mile and I did 95.5 mile. So if you put it into context, it's an amazing start because it's really like so powerful. It's not my style. I prefer to start kind of slowly and then build it up the race on the second part. But this year, especially, there were like 2 other very strong runners, Alto from Finland and Jamba from Mongolia. So we had a very, very powerful start. And normally you don't dare so much, but we did it. So the first 10 days, it was amazing because I had like 760 mile in 10 days, which is exactly the world record pace. And also, let's say 760 mile in 10 days, you can actually win, not always, but it's a winning time for just a 10-day race,
right?
Because it's a lot.
Oh my gosh,
that's great.
So the split was this one, and then of course the second 10 days. I managed to keep it. And then the other 2 runners, like strong runner, they had like some crisis. So I was lucky that I managed to resist somehow. I didn't crash. One guy, the Mongolian runner, Jamba, he had to walk basically for 2 weeks because he got like a minor injury. And also this was his first time. So I guess he was a little bit daring too much in the first part of the race, although he's very ambitious and he's very super strong actually. But then somehow, in this kind of race, if you overdo it just a little bit, you cross the red line, then you have to pay. Sooner or later, the bill is coming somehow. So, in a way, yeah. So that was the first 10 day. So it was extremely fast. The second 10 day, for me, I was containing, somehow I was managing. And then came the second part of the race, from day 20 to day 30. I had a little bit to manage some crisis. So I had to walk like a few days, just for a few hours, because you really feel the accumulated fatigue of the event,
Of course.
And then, and last 10 day, again, I managed to pick it up a little bit. And I thought I could do my PB, but then on the very last 3 days, I was really cooked. And just one day, I missed the pace. I was pacing myself day by day on the last week. And on day, let's say 39, something happened, and I didn't manage to have my average mile per day. And then from that point, I knew I couldn't pick it up anymore because, how can I say, thinking about the marathon is like you start slowing down, let's say 20 seconds per kilometer or 15 or 20 seconds per mile. And then even if the last two mile, you're not going to run like 20 seconds faster it is as it is somehow. It's gone. Once you lose the pace, you have to accept that it goes as it goes. So anyhow, I was super happy because this was my second best performance of all the 5. So I'm really satisfied. I was really happy.
Is it hard not to go in with a strategy? Because as you say, it's impossible to stick to the strategy because there's so many factors that could change it.
Yes, as I said, okay, it's not really impossible. It is that people are racing and I also have to be part of the game. I have my own strategy, but you have to be willing to let it go and to adapt to the race, how the race evolves. So because if I leave them to go, like let's say, these 2 people, they are definitely faster than I am. And if they get some advantage, like if they go ahead of me like 20 or 30 mile, then the whole game, it's kind of it changes very quickly because you have a psychological advantage over the competitor. So you see yourself in the front, and then you're leading by 30, 40 miles, and then the whole game is changing. This distance, it's not so easy to cover up the distance. How can I say, the difference between, for example, number 1 and number 4 is very little. It's just a couple of miles a day, but it accumulates. There is a compound effect, and then at the end it looks like 2 or 3 days difference, but in reality it's a matter of few miles every day. So
Right.
yeah. And one more thing they told me, like they asked Tyson, Mike Tyson, the boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, once he said in a very famous interview, he said they asked him, the other guy had a plan to knock you down on round number 4, but it didn't happen, and you won. And then so you have something to say. And Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get the first punch.
I love
So
it.
yes. In the race, it's the same. You may have a kind of a strategy or plan or approach that you want to implement, but at the same time, you have to see what is happening there day by day. So
Let's talk about the rules for a second. Could you do 50K one day, then rest a lot, and then the next day do 200K? Could you choose to do that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the rule of the race is like there are 18 hours available from 6 a.m. to midnight, and then there is 6 hours compulsory stops from midnight to 6 a.m. But in these 18 hours, which are available to you, to the runner, you choose the strategy, you choose the pace, you choose how many times you want to rest, or it's absolutely free. You can basically walk a whole day and have a very low mileage. And then next day, if you feel extremely well, you can run faster and pick it up. There is no, how can I say, rule that you have to comply to a certain mile per day.
That's good. And what about the entry process? Do you have to have a resume of similar type multi-day races in order to get in? Because it's a very small field.
Yes, it is. It is just 12 runners. And first of all, it's an invitational race. So there is no, the organizer, you may apply, but in the end, the organizer decide. And the entry point, the qualification modality that they told me was that I was supposed to run at least twice, minimum 1,000 kilometer in a 10-day race. That means that you should be able to run more than 600 miles in 10-day race 2 times. So they want to see like that you are a solid like ultra distance runners, and this 600 mile is just the minimum pace that you should carry on for the whole race in order to finish within the cutoff of 52 days.
Right.
So you should do it at least 2 times. So the requirement is to run 2 times the 10-day race and to have more than 620 miles. This is the minimum requirement.
That makes sense.
I guess that there have been some exception. Maybe some lady, they were very close, or they ran like 599 mile or whatever, and they were allowed to join the race anyway. So, but anyhow, this is the requirement. Twice the 10-day race, 620 mile. Yeah.
Now you're running around a city block that is mostly taken up by a school. So is there anything interesting that you've seen in the 5 years that you've done this around the school, or the people that come out to cheer, or anything interesting?
Yes, it's how can I say? In a way, it's very like a monotony. It's a challenge to see all the same every time the same environment and so on. But on the other side of the coin, it's very familiar. You see many people, and then they come to know you, who you are, and what you're doing, and they become your friends. They come several times during the day to visit the runners, and it's very, very nice. I found it really inspiring and so on. And twice a day there are the school students which are going to school and coming out of school, and they literally flood the whole course. So we have to take a longer, like a wider lap. So but anyhow, it's enjoyable. Personally, I find that the familiar atmosphere is way compensate the monotony of the course. Yeah.
Right. And have you studied meditation, or tell us about that aspect? Because obviously your mind has to go somewhere. And the more that your mind is tired, it takes a toll on your body. So have you been able to figure out a way to get yourself into a zone to withstand this?
Yeah, what do you think about for 43 days? What goes through your mind? I wanna know
good
what goes through
question.
this mind of yours.
Good question. Yeah. No, actually, I do meditate since many years, like 20 years. And I definitely can say it helps. It helps to calm the mind, to have some inner poise, to focus, to control your thoughts. Definitely it helps. And above all, also it helps to control your emotion. I saw maybe sometimes it happens, some runner, you are really under stress, so they let this emotion out, or they are yelling at the wife or whatever. I hope it doesn't happen with you guys, but so these things, they happen somehow. If you meditate, you have a more kind of poise attitude. There is way more controls. That doesn't mean that of course everybody gets bored, everybody go through difficult things, but I would say the meditation helps to minimize, let's say, the chattering of the mind and this losing the focus and so on. It helps. It's a tool. It helps. It's not everybody use it somehow. Not everybody is meditating, but in my case specifically, yeah, it helps. I would say it gives at least 10% on the performance.
Oh yeah.
This is my feeling.
Are you aware of what's happening in New York City at this time for 43 days? The U.S. Open went through. Yannick Sinner wins the U.S. Open. Your fellow countryman.
Yeah.
The New York Yankees, they win the ALCS against Cleveland. This is front page news. Are you aware that this is happening while you're running around this block?
Okay, from time to time, I completely lose the connection with the outside world. So sometimes, the outer people are allowed to make just one lap with the runner, occasionally every 2-3 hours. So immediately I ask, what is happening? And this, the fact that Sinner won the US Open, I knew it and I was super happy. For me, it was a further motivation because, we come from the same country and I was super happy. Actually, strange coincidence. The moment when they told me that he won, on that, like after 5 minutes, they put my name first on the board.
No way.
So it was like, yeah, it happened. I tell you, I was third, then I came second. And then after 10 or 9 days during the race, when they just told me, okay, Sinner won the US Open. And then on the next lap, I overtook the leader of the race. So they put my name on first. And then I said, okay, that is a sign. No, I was amazed.
Viva Italia.
Yeah, Viva l'Italia.
I'm sure Yannick Sinner was also knew about you running around that block at the same time.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. I mean, no, these things, not so many people actually know about the race. It's not so well known, but I hope maybe in the future it will become more popular. And I was happy at the end of the race. The Italian consulate always called me. Oh. And last year they came. The consul came at the end of the race, and they came to congratulate me. And I was really happy. It was really. Then they invited me to the Italian consulate in New York, in Manhattan.
Oh.
And I was really, really happy. I felt a big shot, although I'm not.
That's awesome. Now, what about, this was a very active hurricane season in the U.S. You didn't have any consequence of the rain from that?
No, not at all. At the end of the race, I saw there was like something strange in the sky, was like some very strange feeling, like a very dark cloud around and so on. But there in Queens, nothing special happened. I remember 2 years ago, there was like one day was really like torrential rain, and everybody was slowing down like anything just because it was raining a lot. But this year was it was okay. Yeah.
That's good.
Do you prefer to go one way or the other?
Oh, very interesting.
Have you guys checked out our merch via our website, Gotta Run Racing? We have some really cool swag, including the mugs that, if you've watched our YouTube video, that we drink with. Cool red mug with a cork bottom. It keeps liquids nice and cold or warm. What else do we have on there, Norm?
Well, we have our shirts that I'm wearing.
That's right. You can either choose from Gotta Run Podcast or Gotta Run Racing. You can also find our 20-liter dry bags, which are a steal at $25. Perfect for using at drop-off bag at an aid station. We've got flasks. We also have cooling multifunctional neckwear, which is a fancy word for a cooling buff. Has the Gotta Run Racing and Podcast logos on it. Not to mention, we have the affiliate links for the 3 companies, for the 3 brands that we are affiliated with, that being Air Relax, Compression Therapy, Caffeine Bullet, and Kinesis Sunscreen. So by following those links, you can access exclusive discounts. So do check that out, GottaRunRacing.com.
I realize when you run clockwise, it's always faster.
Really?
So yes, in the race we change direction every day. So on, let's say on even day we run clockwise, and on even day we run anti-clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
My perception was every time I run clockwise, I get a few miles more at the end of the day.
Wow.
So it's very strange, but it worked like this somehow. I don't know what the reason or why, and I guess also other runners had the same impression. So I have no idea.
Must be a slight incline.
Or decline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say the course is not flat. Actually, it's like few under meter, inclination. Anyhow, one way or the other, it's always the same. At the end of the day, it's always the same. The uphill and the downhill that you do, but on one side, it's more performative. Let's say.
Right.
My theory is that there is a small highway that go on one side of the course, close to the sidewalk. And then when you have the car going towards your own direction, this is the clockwise movement. And then for some reason, it helps someone.
Interesting.
How hard do you find it to get your calories in during this run? Because obviously you need to take in several more than you would normally. So
yes,
you must be eating as you're running too.
Of course.
I do, absolutely. Yeah, I calculate I eat around like 10,000 calories per day. Sometimes even more, like between 10 and 11, something like this. 12,000 could be. Yeah. And I have some helpers that they help me. They prepare like small meals. I don't, let's say I always eat solid food. I eat what I eat in the regular life. I don't use gel or any other kind of, gel or supplementation somehow. I just eat regular food, and I eat quite often, like every 40 minutes, I have a micro meal, like 30, 40 grams, whatever it is, maybe pasta or some fruit, some bananas, avocado, some cheese, whatever, eggs. But I constantly eat, like every 40 minutes, 45, I'm eating something.
Wow.
And it's a very small portion to avoid, like, the big digestion process. And I get diluted into 2 laps. Mm-hmm. And I eat, actually, I slow down and eat while running somehow. I don't stop to have a meal.
Do you find it hard at midnight to now have to sleep? Do you take some time
or is your mind still racing?
Yeah, I would find
absolutely.
That
yeah. The metabolism is so accelerated that it's not easy to fall asleep immediately. This is why out of this 6-hour break that we have, you hardly sleep 5 or even less, like 4.5, 4:45. Yeah, you don't sleep the whole. Definitely 6 hours, 5.5 is not, doesn't happen.
Right.
No. As you said, once you stop, it takes at least half an hour or 40 minutes for the mind and the body to calm down, to go like really in a restful mode.
Yeah.
Right.
And your sleeping accommodation is set up right on the course? You have like a tent?
It is no. It is 1 mile from the course,
okay.
And all the runners, we are relatively close to the course. I personally ask that I want to have a bike, so I just bike to my flat. Some people, they take the car. The organizers provide a car to go at their resting place. I take the bike because I believe it helped me to kind of to calm down and also to change, like because you're all the day on your legs, on your knee and so on, and you just change the movement like a little bit with the bike. It helps a lot as a recovery. So I'm really happy. I just ride the bike to my flat.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the last loop. You got one more loop to go. What is going through your mind? You're going to get this thing done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, it depends. If it is, for example, every year is different. Depends if you are close to some previous performance for someone else, or if you are close to your PB, or you are chasing someone or whatever. Let's say in general, there is a lot of peace and satisfaction. So you see the end of the race, and it's a very, very long journey, and you feel satisfied and also released, because it's a lot of suffering also. If you want to say like this, it's a lot of psychological and physical kind of workout. It's very hard. So you are definitely happy. In 2021, they told me that I could get the third place, the third best performance all over. And till the very last lap, because I had people kind of pacing me with the time. So every lap they would tell me how many minutes and how many seconds I was supposed to run the next lap.
Okay.
And then that was hell, like, because I realized, I run like for 3,900 miles, and then they tell me I have to push even the very last mile to, in order to have like the third best performance. So it's like, wow, it's like unbelievable. There I was really, looking back, I don't know how I could focus myself so much to give it all, even on the last lap. So, but at the end, I was super satisfied. I was really, really amazed. So coming back to what we said before, if you think that one day is like 0.7 mile, can you imagine what it is 40 seconds that, I just got the third best performance for 40 seconds in a 3,100 mile race. You go ahead by 40 seconds from another performer. It was unbelievable.
It's
just
unbelievable.
it is just a fraction of a second in the marathon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, did you run the extra 11 kilometers to get the 5,000K mark?
Of course, all the 5 edition, I ran it, and I'm proud of it, because for us as a European, we have the metric system, so we value the kilometers.
Yeah.
I know in US everything is in mile, and the race is 3,100 miles, but in Europe most of the people they go for the kilometer. So they have in mind, we have an idea what is 5,000 kilometer. The miles we don't really know, but somehow it's 5,000. It's a full number, so it gives the idea.
In Canada, we also use metric, so of course we understand.
Sorry, man. Sorry. Okay. I didn't know. I said, okay.
Welcome
fine.
to Canada.
Yes. Okay, I'm fine. Thank you. Where are you based? In Toronto or Ottawa or?
An hour north of Toronto.
No, Toronto. Okay.
Yes, an hour north. Yes. You've never been to Canada?
No, but I'm really inspired. Actually, I guess you have a very good life quality there. Like the air is nice, and everything is orderly and proper. So I will visit. Like in the future, I like it.
Absolutely.
Plus, I also like the cold weather, so I'm really inspired.
We also had a Self-Transcendence race here one time in Ottawa. We used to have one.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
I
How
don't
long
remember
was
the
it?
distance.
It was
24
about,
hours?
No, it was up to 6 days.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a 6-day
Okay.
event.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So what I'm curious about, do you find it difficult after achieving something like this and going through this with such a small group of people to go back to your everyday life?
In a way, it is. It is. Somehow, it's a very difficult setup. Like the normal life. I mean, it's difficult. there, it's really the most easiest life. You just run, eat, and sleep. That's it. Repeat every day, every day, and in a way, it's a very simple life. When you come back to the ordinary life, you understand how many trouble you have to deal with the old days, and how many appointments, and you have to run an errand here and there, and pay taxes and so on. I'm just joking. But I'm saying there it's much easy lifestyles. Of course, it's challenging, because when you're racing, the body and the mind is under pressure. So anyhow, they always say the how can I say, the neighbor grass is always greener. So basically when you are racing, when I was racing, I always look at the sky and then I see some airplane and then I think, oh, I want to be there and going home.
Right.
And then when I go home, I say, oh, it would be nice if I could stay there a couple of days more. So it's always like this. It is as it is. I learned to live in the moment and accept the situation I am in currently, and that's it. It is as it
Wow.
is.
Nice.
Have you ever had any family or friends from Europe come to support you?
Surprise you.
Yeah. Well, not yet. Somehow, not yet. But we keep in touch. Often I call home my mother, my father. I have 3 cousins that they all run. They are marathon runners. So we keep in touch. We support each other, and
Very good.
it is like this. Anyhow, I'm kind of really super and hyper focused when I'm there. So I also look for a certain kind of solitude, I have to say.
Mm.
So in a way, I like to be on my own. Let's say
Right.
I take it as a personal challenge. But of course, I like when people write, and from home they can write through the website of the race.
Wow.
They can write to the runners, and then every day at 5 p.m. the runners they get a paper with the messages from home.
Oh,
So I get a lot of messages. Yeah, we get a lot of messages like all around the world. They write me from Russia, from Taiwan.
wow.
My own relatives, they write me. Some other people from Italy, people from Switzerland, Germany, other runners that they know me. So it's really nice. I am surprised how many people are watching the race. I know that there are not so many, but they watch from all over the world. Absolutely.
That's cool.
Especially from Taiwan and Asia. These kind of ultra distances are really kept in high value.
Mm.
They think you are a hero. In Europe, it is not yet like this. I mean, we value much more the classic marathon or the 100K or the 100 mile, let's say. It's becoming more and more popular. This race is a multi-days event. Is more like it is seen as, how can I say, as a challenge rather than a race. It's like, okay, you are not an athlete. You are just the tough guy who went through, let's say. Which is in a way, it is true somehow. I don't consider myself an elite athlete or whatever, but definitely you have to reach a certain kind of mindset and also to have a certain kind of endurance in the body to do such things.
So
yeah.
it sounds like it's hard to wrap your head around this for the average person who may not understand this world, but you're going to this event and you're recharging your batteries to get through the 320 odd days that you're not there, right? Like this recharges your energy for the rest of the year.
Not really. In my case, not really.
But your mind.
I have to say not really. Yes, the mind, yes.
Yes.
I am in a recovery mood. I can look at the wall. I always say, I cut jokes with my friends. When the race is over, I said, you bring me to a coffee shop and then you have also to take me home. Otherwise, I can stare at some picture in the wall for 3 hours. Nobody shake me. They just have to. They bring me there and also they bring me home because otherwise the mind doesn't work anymore somehow.
Amazing.
And okay, let's say the other part of the year, in a way, it's very intense in my case. For the past, especially the last 2 years, I race a lot. So I reached like 8,800 kilometers in a year, just racing kilometers.
Oh, wow.
That means that, so the race is 5,000 and then I did another 3,800 kilometers of race.
Wow.
Yeah. And do you know that the website DOOF, the DOOF statistics?
Yes, that's where all your stats are.
Yeah, it's a website that collects all the statistics of ultra distance runners worldwide, and every race which is over the marathon, it's reported there, and it's in the database. So last year I was by far the guy who ran the most worldwide as a racing kilometer. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was really satisfied. Most of them, yeah. I take many of the race that I do during the years, they are a recovery race. I don't really push it like to perform. I just try to keep kind of easy pace, not to kill myself, because then I have to work also. So yeah, and also everything that I do during the year is diverted to this main challenge, the 3100 mile race. So
Right.
yeah, I don't push the other races. I just keep myself. I try to keep it fresh for the start of the 3100 mile race.
Have you ever considered running across something? Let's say running across a country or running across a desert?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I did consider it. And I don't know if in the future it will happen. I can say I like very much this loop races because they keep me, how can I say, motivated. Normally I ask the counting station, to tell me my pace, to tell me how much I run, like this lap. And then they tell me 6 minute 30 or 6 minute 20 or sub 6 minute or whatever. And then it's kind of always it's an input that keeps you going.
Right.
And also the loop race is very appealing to me because from the logistic point of view, everything's available, during a single lap. You want to drink something, eat something, you need a restroom, whatever, you need a massage, everything that you need in the moment, it will be given the next lap.
Right.
Running from one point to the other, it's even more challenging in a way that they cannot follow you up in such a way that they can support you, I guess, so quickly as it happened in the loop race. That's my feeling. And plus, the running from one point to the other, it's very appealing. But at the same time, rarely it is a race. It is mostly like a self-paced event. So one guy has a crew and he decides to run from California to New York, whatever it is. And then it is just him and then his crew. And then it happened. I guess it's very difficult to organize a race like with other people, another opponent along the same course from one point to the other.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you could always loop around a country.
Yes.
A small country.
Slovenia, maybe.
Yes.
Or the Vatican.
There you go.
Yes, why not? The Vatican,
Good idea.
That's a country, right?
It is. Yeah, we have many countries. We have also San Marino in Italy. In the middle of Italy, there is also a little country which is called San Marino. Yeah. No, definitely. Everybody goes to make the gas in the Vatican because it's cheaper. So you can buy food there. Maybe it's cheaper. I have no idea, but you can run around. Yeah.
You should look into that. See if anyone's done it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. What is next for you? What is next for you for the rest of the year?
Well, as I said, now last part of the year, I take it as a recovery. So I'm still running, just few miles, very easy every day. So this is my recovery part. I also do other sports. I'm a swimmer as well. I do like the Zurich Lake swim. It's like 27 kilometer swimming. I did it also 5 edition.
Okay.
And yeah, I was happy. So I train also for swimming, and I guess it helps a lot, my running. It helps a lot that I don't stand so much on my knees, on my legs, and at the same moment I train my cardio while swimming. So now it's swimming time. So and very low millage per day.
Right.
And then next year again I start probably with the same format that I've been following during the past few years. That means I start probably to do 1 24-hour race. Then I will have some 6-day race, then maybe a 48-hour race, and so on. I have quite a few events. I checked yesterday what I did last year. I did 11 events. So yeah, it's intense. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing, Andrea. We've really enjoyed getting to know you better and this incredible achievement that is not over. Your journey is still ongoing. So we can't wait to see.
You never know. You never know. Maybe I decide to climb the Himalaya from tomorrow. You never know.
Well, before we let you go today, we do some rapid fire questions to end our podcast. So if you don't mind, we're going to do that now. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
All right. What's the last concert you went to?
I've never been to a concert.
Really?
No, okay, no, I tell you, no, now I remember. It was, I can tell you, around 2010, I saw the Smashing Pumpkins concert.
Yes.
Yeah, they came to my city in Italy, like to Padua, close to my city.
Ah.
I was going to the university in Padua, and then I saw them live actually, but it was so loud. Wow, it was super because it was a kind of. It's not like in US or in Canada. We don't have like this huge hall, you know.
Yes.
So I guess they are prepared for, I don't know, 100,000 people, and there we were just 3,000 people. So
Wow.
so it was so loud, like, so I can remember.
One and done.
In a way, yes. I had to cover my ear because it was too much. So
Do you listen to music during Self-Transcendence at all?
normally, no.
No.
Normally, no.
Okay.
I rehearse. I have in my mind the Rocky soundtrack all the time. Right, yeah. Going the distance. What is this song? Going the distance, or there's no easy way out, or all this kind of things.
He's feeling strong.
Yes, yeah. I have it all the time in my mind. It's going up and down there. Yeah.
Do you eat gelato?
Of course, I eat a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
So what's your favorite flavor of gelato?
Vaniglia e pistachio.
Pistachio. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could travel back in time to any period, what time period would you go back to?
I would go to the ancient Egypt. I want to see the pharaoh, and I always was attracted by the pyramids and pharaohs and so on.
Yes.
Yeah, somehow I like the idea. I guess it was a very peculiar era of our history and very special one. And still nowadays they don't know, I guess, how it could be possible. I guess someone say even with our technology, it's hard to build a pyramid as they did. So they must have been special people.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Have you ever had pineapple on pizza?
No, not at all. No. That's for Italian. It's totally off. You don't put it. No. It's no. Listen, it's serious.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah. So I know for American or Canadian, maybe it's normal, I guess, but for Italian, it's really like you
Sacrilegious.
Very.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you know that was invented in Canada?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know. Then maybe some Italian may appreciate. Sorry. No.
Shame on us. Ooh,
it's okay. No. It's fine. No, I'm just saying from our perspective as an Italian, it's it doesn't fit with with our taste. Like
Don't worry, I agree with you. I would never put it.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
Would you rather be a professional writer, painter, or musician?
Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. I would say between writer and painter.
I would figure that after the concert.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yes, exactly.
And so many famous Italian artists too.
Yes,
of
course.
Leonardo da Vinci,
Michelangelo,
Dante, Michelangelo.
Yeah,
we have a lot.
Okay. All right, Nora.
Pick a superpower that you would like to have.
Wow, very interesting. To resist the cold. That is. You know Wim Hof? Do you know Wim Hof?
Yes.
It's the Iceman, they call it.
Yes.
He's based in Netherlands, in Holland, and then he can do like crazy things to run in the icy place in his short and so on. And I would pick up the cold resistance skills. To go to Antarctica or North Pole and be comfortably there, seated in shorts and breathing slowly and so on. Yeah, that is very cool.
It would be. It
Wow.
would be.
I don't think we ever had that one before.
No, that's a new one. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. No, it adds in many things. For example, the English Channel, there is only one lady. She did it 4 times in a row.
Yes.
She's an American lady, breast cancer survivor, Sarah Thomas. And no man so far did it 4 times because we don't resist the cold.
Right.
Wow.
It's funny, but ladies are more resistant in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Jody and Norman. I was really happy and privileged to be here in your podcast.
Well, we'll be keeping in touch with you because we want to see what is next. And we're also very grateful to Aggregati because he made the introduction to you.
Oh, yes.
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 Thank you so much. I know he's a very dear friend of mine, and I know him, so I'm really happy that you connected with him, and then now we can talk together. I'm really happy.
Yeah, very good.
And next year we're gonna send you messages when you're running around the block.
I would be super happy, I tell you, because there you feel at a certain point you feel kind of alone, so you need some support.
Yes.
And just to see the messages coming from all around the world and from people who know about the race, it's very important. Like for all the runners, like it's really nice.
Maybe we'll come there in person and run around a block with you. Yeah.
Why not? I would be super happy.
I would love to do that. I was secretly going to tell Norman that we should come next year to surprise you, but we'll see. I would love to.
Yes, why not? Why not? But please, Norman, come after Sinner would win again the US Open.
Hey, we can make it a double trip. We'll go to the tennis and then we'll come and see you.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. Ciao. Molto grazie.
Thank you, Jodin. Thank you, Jodin. Thank you, Norman.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Tutti. Grazie. Ciao.
And that was Andrea Marcato, fresh off his 5th time winning Self-Transcendence race in Queens, New York.
That's incredible. Think about going around a less than kilometer block for 43 days. You have up to 52 days to complete the 3,100 miles. And there's so much stuff going on in the world at the same time. But you just keep going around and get caught up later. It's kind of like being in the Big Brother house when they don't know what's going on.
And they're in there for up to 90 days. I think I would rather run for 40 odd than be in there for 90.
In the Big Brother house.
Yeah, because if we were going to run, there's no treadmill, so you got to run that courtyard. Forget about it. Forget about it. Anyways, my favorite thing that he said to put things in perspective was, if you take a day out of this race, it equals a kilometer of time in a marathon.
Or distance in a marathon.
Well, time versus distance, yeah. Think about that, people. Think about that for a second.
I like his Mike Tyson quote. You go in with a plan until you get punched.
You go in with strategy till the first punch hits. Then everything goes to pot. Man, oh man. Got to be a special kind of person to do these kinds of events.
He's definitely, his mind control he has. He can literally watch paint dry. He keeps saying, oh, can't watch paint dry. Well, he could.
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
And so much other races were happening, like we said in the beginning,
But why does this event not get its proper...
Yeah, because it's been going around for 26 years.
Yeah.
And let's see the Courtneys of the world see what they can do here.
I wonder, too, what kind of press it gets in New York. But maybe we'll find out if we go next year.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll bring some press.
All right.
And before we go, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters. Without your support, these lights would not be on.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you want to become a supporter of the pod, help us keep churning out this content, you can visit our website and find the link there.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Bye.